What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me. Oh, it's too early for this shit, man. It really is. But anyway, let's get on with the day. We got about a half hour, and then I have to shut it down and go to work. Boo. All right, so Jam and Jake, thank you for 5x5. Ed Case, thank you for the 5x5. That's strange.
Trust
All right, there it is.
professionals. This is really the
Michael, Michelle, Coffee First. Thank you for the 5x5. Jeep Girl, thank you for the 5x5. Thank you also for being up this early. I know I know some got people are up about this early and most people are not. So a lot of people will watch this on a replay. So let's get the bullshit out of the way. There was a story that I was just looking at right before I got on here. Raging Battle Passport. This fucking app is like terrible. But what the fuck was I looking at? Oh, the drinking water warning nationwide. So apparently, guys, a lot of us already know that the water supply is under attack. And it's been for a while now. So the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, issued an enforcement alert Monday urging water utility systems to take immediate action to protect the nation's drinking water from cyber attacks. So a small paragraph I read the other day states that the water system around the nation has been under attack more frequently, and the attacks are going on longer, shutting down water systems longer. Obviously, that's going to be a problem, or that is a problem, and I think people should start storing more water away because this is only going to get worse. According to the EPA, recent federal inspection revealed that 70% of the U.S. water systems inspected do not fully comply with requirement in the Safe Drinking Water Act. The agency added that some systems have critical cybersecurity vulnerabilities, such as default passwords that have not been updated and single logins that can easily be compromised. Oh, why not just open and roll out the red carpet for them? Possible impact of cyber attack include interruption of water treatment and storage and damage to pumps, valves, along with altercation of chemical level to hazardous amounts. Now, we saw that, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago? Where the water plant, I think it was in Florida, was being hacked, and the guy was watching them mess around with the levels, though they weren't able to activate or change the levels, but he was watching them on the computer do it before they were able to actually implement it into the waters. So, of course, guys, I don't know why they missed this one. Maybe they're trying to fuck with us and kill us. I don't know. In many cases, systems are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is to have a completed risk assessment of their vulnerabilities that include cybersecurity to make sure that plans is available and inform the way they're doing business. Sorry. So, anyway, late last year, Iranian-linked group Cyber Avengers, I didn't make this shit up, this is actually an Iranian group, targeted multiple organizations, including a small Pennsylvania town's water provider. Earlier this year, Russia-linked Hacktivist, didn't make that one up either, group attempted to disrupt operation in several Texas utilities. In addition, a cyber attack group linked to China, Volt Typhoon, has compromised information technology of multiple infrastructure systems, including drinking water in the U.S. and its territories abroad. I'm pretty sure that's smaller territories. Bottom line, guys, Yeah, cyber vengeance. I'm like, seriously, guys? You couldn't. Whatever. By working behind the scenes with these hacktivist groups, now these nation states have plausible deniability and they can let these groups carry out destructive attacks. And that, to me, is a game changer. Dawn Capelli, cybersecurity expert with the risk management firm Dragos, Inc. Monday's alert followed a warning in March over concerns about potential cyber attack against the U.S. water system. The March letter sent by the White House and the EPA to all 50 state governors noted the threat actors affiliated with Iranian government Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps have executed several malicious attacks against the U.S. infrastructure such as drinking water system. Drinking water and wastewater systems are an attractive target for cyber attacks because they are a lifetime critical infrastructure sector, but often lack the resources and technical capacity to adopt rigorous cybersecurity practices. Go Cyber Avengers. Avenge us. Anyway, that was seemingly an interesting one. Oh, also, I have to retract a statement I made last night about Tucker Carlson. So I guess I have to apologize for this. But the Newsweek article that I got the information from, which I should have done more research because Newsweek is a bit of a hack, but they're a bit of a hack agency, if you will, or news media. The Tucker Carlson show wasn't aired on Russia TV, Russia State TV, sorry. So not only wasn't it aired, it wasn't authorized by Tucker Carlson and his group, and so Newsweek retracted the article, and I have to find the article where they retracted it, but other news agencies stated that Newsweek retracted it. So I do apologize for that. I still don't trust Tucker Carlson, but anyway, not the point. Also, back to what I was going to talk about. So we've been talking about the bird flu. In fact, the video last night got demonetized for a few hours because I think I was a little heavy with some wording. But they are building up the story or the show for the H5N1 because now, guys, lo and behold, after my video last night, the bird flu can transmit through air. Let me repeat this, because they said this about Mr. 19 and then they retracted it. Then they said it was airborne and they said it wasn't. The bird flu can transmit through air. This is upon new research. It's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. But anyway, in March, the United States reported its first detection of highly pathogen H5N1 avian flu in dairy cattle, with outbreaks spreading to 9 states by May. The transmission method among cattle remains unclear. However, a study published in the journal Nature Communication revealed that a similar H5N1 strain, subtype clad 2.3.4.4b, why did they do that? Which previously caused an outbreak in a farmed mink in 2022, has the capability of airborne transmission to a small group of ferrets. This is the first time that a member of the group of H5N1 clade 2.3.4.4b virus has been shown to exhibit this ability. According to Penn State researchers who led the study, the findings suggest viruses are evolving to infect mammals with potential risk to humans. It's like we're repeating fucking history. It just doesn't stop. And not that it doesn't stop, they don't stop. them and their BS. Whatever, man. I'm not surprised, but I'm a little surprised that they're moving this fast. And I understand why they got to move this fast, because we got an election coming up, and they got to make sure they got to lock it down. Because guess what, guys? Biden isn't winning. There is they're in no universe or no dimension in this world that he's going to win. So they're getting desperate. So of course, this is on cue with stopping the election because of a pandemic. This only gets whatever. They're just saying, guys, that it's airborne. That's the long short of it. The link to this article, I shall find it, actually. Give me 2 seconds. You guys could read more about it, because it's gay. That's one. Two, then it's super gay. I've never seen such a gay-ass article. Shit, I can't find it. Fuck. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds to... it was Science Tech Daily. They had the article. And let's see if I can do this without fucking up the live stream. Give me a second. All right. You know what? Hold on. I fucked that up. Give me a second. Damn it, man. Why does it do this? It's Science Tech Daily. The link it's giving me is a link to Newsbreak. I don't want to give you guys that link because it's shot. But type in Science Tech Daily. Just type in pandemic potential, and you should get the article. New research shows H5N1 bird flu can transmit through the air. If you guys can do it that way, that'd be probably a lot better than me sending you this fucking article. Anyway, it's not amazing. It's just, guys, enough already. Give us a couple of years. But they're not going to do that because 2025 is around the corner. And as we all know, SPARS and contagion, catastrophic contagion, and all of those exercises are trying to show the elites how they're going to run the world during the next event. Or Steel City, you're right. Trying to mess it up enough so when they pass it off to Trump, he's got a lot to clean up. But yeah, whatever, man. So let's move on to a more important article that is getting backlash here. I don't understand why. It's not our problem. But nonetheless, the LGBT group are outraged at Peru. They've been protesting here, which I find... Real quick side note. Okay. Let me know, guys, if you can still hear and or see me. I got weird numbers going on around here right now. And maybe because it's 7 o'clock in the morning, even YouTube doesn't want to fucking keep up with that bullshit. But if I'm not on, let me know. I can still see myself. All right, 5x5. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's weird because it says one person's watching. Jenna, thank you. Michelle, coffee first. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's strange because it says one person's watching on both apps. And now The app that I use says 0 people are watching. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so there's an election, I think, in DR. I think there's an election going on. But I hate the fact, guys, that they allow people from other countries to vote in their country. The only way you can do that, especially now, is through electronics. If you left this country, if you left your country to come here, you should not be allowed to vote in your country. I don't give a fuck about what method. Even if you did it by ballots and you flew it over there, you should not be allowed to vote in another country in this country. That allows for too much corruption and too much wiggle room to play around with votes. Just saying. So once your ass left your country because you didn't like your country, you should not be able to vote in that country's election. Period. It's insanity to me that these people leave their country and they're allowed to vote. I'm pretty sure there was voting. It was all in Spanish, which is bullshit. It should have been in English as well. But there was a voting office, and I'm pretty sure because I saw stanchions outside. I'm like, what's this? And then it said vote in Spanish, or vote, or votolato, or whatever, however you say vote in Spanish. And it was like, 2024, and then there was a couple names, and I'm like, are they voting here? And I know it's been going on for a couple of years, but I actually got to see it, and I was just like, what is going on? Now this stupid thing is saying one person's watching when it said 0. Whatever, I am 1,000% sure something's up with YouTube. But we shall see. Yeah, now it says 4 people viewed it. Whatever. As long as you guys are still watching, it's fine. Winter Homestead says 417 in Washington. Ouch. Thank you for joining us, by the way, then. Appreciate it. So, anyway, guys, that's my gripe on that. But, that being said, Peruvian Health Ministry claims the decision aimed to ensure public health services can guarantee full mental health coverage for the LGBT community. Government officials in Peru announced that they will classify transgender, non-binary, intersex people as mentally ill. Wow! Holy shit. Kick in the nutsacks, boop! And now so, the LGBT community, or rather the transgender, non-binary, intersex people here in the United States are protesting. Not sure why. I am 1,000% sure, guys, nobody in the United States, including the LGBT Americans, give a fuck. We don't care. Protesting here, guys, does nothing for the decisions made in Peru. It doesn't. It's insanity. I don't understand why people do that. It's just, something goes on here. We're going to protest here in the United States. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. Does it make them feel better? Probably. Full of Hope said UK government launched PrEPA website. No kidding. Because of the shitstorm that's on the way, perhaps. Anyway, the Peruvian Health Ministry says that the controversial decision was made to ensure the country's public health service could guarantee full coverage of medical attention for mental health of the LGBT community. Because they are fucking psych patients. I'm sorry. And let's just table the fact now that the new LGBT, the current young group, plays victim at every chance they get now. They are the worst victiming people out there. They play victimhood to a whole new level. In fact, there was a TV show called Designated Survivor with what's that guy's name? Kiefer Sutherland. And it went on for 3 seasons, maybe 4. And in the 4th season, they went heavy-handed woke. I mean, like, I've never seen a show destroy themselves like designated survivor did. I mean, they detonated themselves. If they were a Muslim terrorist, they strapped a bomb to their chest and blew themselves up. They took a fascinating show and destroyed it. With that, one of the storylines in there was a gay White House analyst or some shit. And in the fourth season, they have an opening scene where on national TV, by the way, guys, national TV, not cable, but national TV. It's like Channel 7 or whatever it was. Anyway, the scene opens up by another dude. Fast forward in the show, the guy that's railing the little dude, the analyst, the White House analyst, finds out that the kid is HIV positive, but he's taking meds. The gay community seems to think that these medications give you the authorization not to tell somebody you're HIV positive. So in the show, the kid comes across and says, well, he comes across and tells him that he's HIV positive, and the guy flips out. So as the guy flips out, the kid, the analyst, White House analyst, starts to play victim. And why would you do that to me? I'm on medications. My viral load is down. Why would you alienate me like that? I'm like, yo, he fucking flipped the table like I've never seen before. Meanwhile, in the community, it's actually going on. The gay community, especially the young men out here, are playing victim. They're like, well, I'm on PrEP, and there's a bunch of other medications out there now. I'm on this, I'm on that. My viral load's down. I don't have to share my status with anyone. What? And this is the generation of homos that are out there. So now Peru pulls this shit. The LGBT community here are crying about something that happened in Peru. Go to Peru and protest there. Don't do it here. No one cares. The victim card that they play here is strong. And that's part of the reason why I didn't get hired in Austin PD, was because they saw my YouTube channel and they were like, yo, this motherfucker's out of his mind. He's legitimately, as the officer put it, the investigation officer put it, if you get in trouble, they're going to, as she put it, destroy you in the courtrooms. I said, first of all, lady, no one's destroying shit in the courtroom. I can hold my own, believe it or not. I'm a lot older than a lot of these officers you're hiring, and what I said was not homophobic by any stretch of the imagination. She's like, but it could be misconstrued as homophobic. I'm like, it could be. So you're not hiring me on the basis that it could be? Anyway, that being said, guys, I didn't get the job apparently, but it's that woke nonsense that's spreading throughout the country. And the LGBT group are a bunch of psych patients. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. You're not going to sit there and convince me that these people are sane. You're not going to sit there and convince me that a bunch of men acting like women, going after kids, telling kids it's okay to lop it off is okay. Telling girls to lop their breast off is alright. It is not okay. There is a psych issue within the LGBT community and it has to be addressed, and Peru just addressed it. But Peru also did it in a way where they made it that they look like they were protecting the LGBT group, when in fact they're actually labeling psych patients for who they are. Social media is the first interview. Sixth String, yeah. They went right to my social media shit. They actually asked for it. They requested it, and then it came up. I mean, but I didn't think they were going to dig too deep. I said, there's not going to be a lot of problems. Whatever. Sorry. The decree signed by the President, Dina, whatever her name is, will change the language in the Essential Health Insurance Plan to reflect that trans and intersex people have mental disorders. Conditions that will be recognized as mental health disorders include transsexualism, dual role transvestitism, gender identity disorder in childhood, fetish transvestitism, fetish, and ego dystonic sexual orientation. Dystonic. I never heard of that. However, the LGBT people will not be forced to complete reconversion therapy. Oh my God, they're going bananas. I love Peru. I should just move there. Anyway, the sexual orientation and gender identity of a person does not constitute in itself a physical or mental health disorder, and therefore they should not be subjected to treatment or medical care or to so-called reconversion therapy as established. The LGBT activists slammed the new law, calling it a major step backwards in a fight for their rights. Now, the LGBT community in Peru, in the United States, Canada, UK, they have their rights. How much more rights do they want? And this, guys, is the psychosis of the LGBT community, because they state that they're fighting for their rights and they continue to fight for their rights. What rights do they not have here in this country? Can someone please fill me in? If you guys have a homo friend that's out there, please get the guy to my attention, because I want to know what rights they don't have. Because everybody in countries like Peru, the United States, what is that fucking place called? UK, Australia, they have rights. How much more rights do they want? Now, here in the United States, guys, their rights are so far ahead of its time, that now they're going after kids, and they think that it's a right to indoctrinate kids. That's how far we've gone. And now you have groups like Gays Against Groomers. You have groups like that are taking a stand. And even they're looking at it and going, it's not a right. It is no way, shape, or form a right for you to go after kids. But for some reason, the LGBT group, or the young LGBT group, seems that it's their right to do so. They have all the rights in the world. There's no one going after them in any way, shape, or form. They are getting hired left and right. Why? What other rights do they need? The rights to not get beat up when walking down the street? That's not a right. That's just a misfortune that happens to you. Happens to a lot of people. You can't sign enough laws to make evil go away, to make bad people go away. It just doesn't happen. And the LGBT group, in their infinite wisdom, think that that is so. They think that if more laws are signed, they'll get their ass handed to them less. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, good for Peru for pushing that. And let's move on to the next one. Okay, I found this one to be a little interesting. I'm going to have to go off the air in a couple minutes. But terrified passengers recall the moment a dramatic drop on a deadly Singapore airline flight. The longest 2 hours of my life. So, just yesterday or the other day, a flight coming from Singapore or going to Singapore had the worst turbulence ever recorded. In fact, someone actually died. So, terrified passengers recall a petrified moment. A Singapore airline flight took a dramatic drop due to turbulence Tuesday. It was yesterday, leaving one man dead and others bloodied and screaming out in pain. And I don't understand, like, when a lot of the pilots, they're like, oh shit, we got turbulence ahead. You put your seatbelt on. At what point did it get that bad that people were thrown out of their seat and or someone died? Anyway, those on board the 777 jet said that there was virtually no warning, before the plane made a dramatic drop en route from London to Singapore Tuesday afternoon. Everyone was seated and not wearing a seatbelt was launched immediately into the ceiling. Some people hit their heads on their baggage cabin overhead and dented it. Wow. They hit the places where the lights and masts are and broke straight through it. That makes sense how you can kill yourself. The crew and people inside laboratories were hurt, mostly because they discovered people on the ground not able to get up. I don't know whose English this is. I'm sorry. There were a lot of spinal injuries and head injuries. Talk about a lawsuit. Another passenger, Andrew Davis, recalled how those with medical training were desperately trying to render aid, including to the 73-year-old British man who died on board after the authorities said he suffered a heart attack. No shit. My heart goes out to the gentleman who lost his life and his poor wife. Awful experience, yada, whatever. Someone shouted, this is not me, shouted for a defibrillator, passengers with medical training helping as much as they could. CPR on the poor gentleman that had passed away. Another passenger laid flat in the aisle further behind me. Not sure what happened to them or him. Wish I could have helped more. People belonging scattered, coffee and water splattered on the ceiling. Surreal. So many injured people, head lacerations, bleeding ears, and a lady. Bleeding ears is a bad sign, by the way. A lady was screaming in pain with a bad back. I couldn't help her, Davis said. Photos circulating online showing the terrified passengers. There are photos of people bleeding. Imagine hitting your head that hard in the compartment that you go through it. Oh, that's insane. All right, everything we need to know about the London-Singapore flight. 1 killed, 30 injured. Apparently, guys, there were 30 or 22 severe injuries. The defibrillator was on the one dude. 73-year-old British man was killed, and more than 30 others were injured after a Singapore airline dealt with severe turbulence Tuesday. Geoff Kitchen, a 73-year-old British grandfather, was traveling on his dream vacation of a 6-week tour of Asia and Australia with his wife when he died of a heart attack. So he didn't even hit his fucking head. He was just scared. As a plane plummeted 6,000 feet. That's a lot. And especially not to be caught in time before it... The Boeing 777-300ER jet was forced to make an emergency landing in Bangkok at 3:45 p.m. local time. Passengers have detailed the terror on board, saying that those who weren't wearing a seatbelt were launched into the ceiling when the plane dropped 6,000 feet. So, all right, my fault. I guess the pilot didn't see it coming. Photos circulating online showed food debris being strewn throughout the aircraft in the aftermath of the turbulence, as well as huge dent in the overhead compartment. The plane was forced to make an emergency landing. Tracking data from the Flight Radar 24 showed the Boeing jet sharply dropping from altitude of about 37,000 feet to 31,000 feet within just 5 minutes as it flew over the Andaman Sea. The plane was carrying 211 passengers. 18 crew members was forced to land. First responders rushed on board to treat the injured. 23 passengers, 9 crew sustained moderate injuries. All right. So that's that, guys. Be careful when you're on a plane. Make sure you wear your seatbelt at all times. This is not the first time. There's more and more turbulence in the air. More and more turbulence. Severe turbulence where people are getting injured. Firefly Flan, do you have siblings? They on the same page as you? For the most part, they are. My brother and my sister are on the same page with a lot of shit, especially when it comes to arm tickets and things of that nature. Anyway, thank you guys. I got to get out of here. I got to run. I will see a lot of you guys tomorrow for a doubleheader. I will be going to the Trump rally tomorrow. I think he's going to be over there kind of early. I think. But I will be over there. I might live stream it. If I do live stream it, it will be on the Angry Truth channel. Unless shit gets out of hand, then it'll be on the Angry Prepper channel. But for now, I will see you guys for the doubleheader tomorrow night. And I will live stream the live stream the Trump rally, whether it's a big to-do or not. If it's a big to-do and it turns into a mayhem, it'll be on the Angry Prepper. If not, it'll be on the Angry Truth because it'll be a political event, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, good morning. See you guys later. Thank you.